Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
You love podcasts, the stories, the laughs, the unexpected turns. But when this episode ends, the silence starts. Not anymore. Audiobooks.com turns that silence into your next great adventure. With over 450,000 titles, from bestsellers to hidden gems, your love for listening just found its new best friend. And because you already know the joy of audio, we're giving you 3 free audiobooks to start your journey. Imagine your favorite podcast, now with unlimited episodes. That's audiobooks.com. Keep the story going. Sign up for your free trial at audiobooks.com/podcastfree today. Because for podcast lovers like you, the end of an episode is just the beginning. That's audiobooks.com/podcastfree.
Hey there, faithful listeners. Do you want to help keep my podcast stay free to download with minimal ads? You know I want that. I can only assume that you want that too. Too many commercials is a drag. Well, do me a favor and take a quick listener survey to help support the show. Your responses will help align the appropriate advertisers to my audience. And don't worry, the survey is short and completely anonymous and takes no more than 5 minutes. Just go to www.podcastone.com/mysurvey or go to www.podcastone.com and click the survey banner. It's easy. If you filled a survey out in the past, thank you, but we still need you to do it again. You're doing all of us a huge favor by filling it out. Thank you for supporting the show and taking the time to complete the survey. Don't forget to vote Zuckerman off the island. Now go get on that survey.
Now Podcast One brings you Spike's Car Radio, a downloadable cars and coffee, hosted by writer, comedian, and automotive enthusiast Spike Ferriston, and recorded live from the porch of the famous Malibu kitchen. Now, here's Spike.
Here we are, Zuckerman. Keep the music going, Will. It's Saturday. We're here in the porch in Malibu at the lovely Malibu kitchen. I'm looking across here, and Bill, the proprietor, is playing with a little toy poodle-y dog of some kind. You feel good, Zuckerman? I feel good.
I'm doing the Conor McGregor arms.
The Conor McGregor arms.
I'm waving my arms, and I'm ready to fight.
Well, I don't know when this show is actually going to air, so tonight, yes, while we're recording, this is the Conor McGregor fight. This is the big night of the Conor McGregor fight and the Mayweather fight. It's already happened, though. Listeners already know what happened, but let's make our predictions right now.
Well, my prediction is that if you and I go in the backyard before the fight and do
Yes.
an undercard, I think I can take you.
We're going to watch it tonight. I've got pizza from Vito's. I've got my boys. You're going to bring your boy over. My wife is leaving for the evening to go to some political whatever. And we're going to watch guys beat the crap out of each other. It's going to be excellent.
No,
and come on.
And chances are we'll be disappointed. My prediction is
There's no disappointment. I mean, dude, what prediction? We've been around for a long time, you and I. What happens to the white guy in a fight like this?
He's going to get his clock cleaned.
He's going to get his clock cleaned.
What was that old game? You knocked my block off.
He's going to be bloody. He's going to be laying down. He's going to be hurt. But I am rooting for Conor. I'm an Irishman myself. And I like him a little more than I like Mayweather. And I like the way he walks. He does that weird muscly walking thing with his arms. But
yes. Didn't you just see me do that? It was exactly the same.
Yeah, but you and I both believe that he's going down, right?
He's going down.
He's totally going down.
The boxer is going to give him a beating.
Yes, I think so too. You know, as I was driving out here in my GT3, I was alone on Sunset Boulevard, flying down, I think, right by 26th Street there as I headed into the Palisades. And then as I came around, there's a park there. What is that state park?
Will Rogers.
Will Rogers State Park. And up ahead of me is this red 964 Porsche 911. And the light turns green, and this 911 pulls into the other traffic's lane, and I see the guy's hand go out the window, flip him off. I start beeping. By the way, GT3 has lovely horn. These two guys are fighting, and they're holding me up, but it was a guy in a Porsche. As I raced forward just to drive next to the Porsche, who was it that was doing this?
Okay, you caught me.
It was you.
You caught me.
Road
What do you want me to
raging.
tell you?
What were
Okay,
you? What the hell was going on?
He didn't like the fact that my lights were on and
Right.
that I didn't want to go as slow as him.
Yes.
And then when we pulled up to a light, he gave me some weird, like,
How
Buddhist-
old was this poor man that you were menacing?
Okay, I'm old, and he was the same equally old age. And he gave me, like, some Buddha praying hands, which seemed like he was supplicating to me, like he was begging me to do something, and then he gave me the finger. So then I said to him, hey, Buddha, how about I rearrange your nose?
You said that?
I said I had something along
You
those
sound
lines.
like a 1930s tough guy. Hey, Buddha, how about I rearrange your nose?
Give you a smash.
And how did he respond to this?
He didn't like it, but he shouldn't give the finger.
And did you hear me beeping behind you, like, get
Then
going?
I was ready to take you on.
Do you know how happy I was to find out that this was you, that I caught you in this ugly moment in your life, Zuckerman?
Oh, well,
Aren't you
listen,
better than this? Aren't we
I-
supposed to be a little better than this?
I go to a lot of therapy, so this doesn't happen. Maybe I should ask for my money back.
Has it improved?
You're gonna be my proof that,
Yes.
that I'm not getting. I'm going to tell the doctor I want my money back. This wasn't supposed.
Well,
to
we had a
happen.
lovely drive, and then I kicked it into high gear, and I lost you. But we have a
thank
great
you.
show today. You know who we're going to meet in a minute?
Who?
You know what the Velocity Channel is, right? They
Yeah.
have a new show, not a new show, a show that's been on. They're going into their 4th season. It's called Garage Squad, and they have one of the lovely hosts, Heather Storm,
Wow.
is going to be with us.
Wow, she's famous.
She sounds like a newscaster, right? The first question I'm going to ask her, is Storm her real last name? Because she sounds like someone that would be doing the weather on
Like Dallas Raines?
Yeah, like Dallas Raines, exactly. Or Storm Fields. Wasn't there a guy named
Yeah.
Storm Fields?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those guys. But apparently she's way into the car thing, and she's going to join us to talk about Season 4 of the show, which I guess began August 30th. I have not seen it yet, but I can tell right now it's a show I want to watch. You know why? Because I've actually been out pitching this show, and these guys already have it on the air. The idea is this squad of car dudes and gals show up to a guy's garage who's got a car that needs to be restored, and they help him restore it and put it together. It's a pretty good idea, right?
As long as it's not really just smoke and mirrors and fraudulent after
Of course
it's
it
all
is,
over.
but I wish I had thought of it 4 years ago like they did, because maybe
okay, but wasn't
she'd be
it
interviewing
already
me right
thought
now.
of? Wasn't that show already done?
I don't think
Pimp
so.
My Ride. Isn't Pimp My Ride the same show?
Oh, that was a completely fake show with a hip-hop rapper guy. Yeah, they weren't even making cars. Here I see her coming up right now. She's looking around. She's there. She's lifting her glasses.
She acknowledges.
She's acknowledging. Here she is, everybody. Heather Storm is walking up.
Hey,
Very
guys.
nice to meet you. I'm Spike. This is the real Zuckerman. He's a personal injury attorney, but he's also a vile human being, so keep your distance from
Ooh,
him.
yeah, I'm going to sit back a
Scary.
little bit
He's
here.
a scary guy. You
He's
can
giving me
tell.
the eye right
Yeah.
now.
He's wearing an interesting. You can
Side-eye.
see he's wearing a little straw hat for some reason. But
Well, it
has
looks like it has a bite out of it
has
on
a
the-
bite out of it too. What the hell's going on with your hat?
Because it's going to be very hot today, and I don't have a lot of hair, and I don't want to get a melanoma.
No, but why
No,
is
the
it the
bite.
bite? The bite.
It's old. It's vintage. It's a vintage. It was.
Heather, what do you think
I
about
don't know.
that?
I think it looks like someone took a chunk out of that. What
It
did you
looks
do?
I have been menacing
It
people.
looks
today.
like mice. Mice have eaten away.
Well,
anyway,
you did say he was vile, so
he is vile.
we
He's
don't
a good.
know.
He's a good man, though, too. Heather, it's very nice to meet you. What did you drive out here?
I drove my BMW 428.
Oh yeah.
I'm about to turn that in, though.
Do you live here? Do you live here in LA?
I live in Los Angeles half the year, about 7 months, because when we're filming Garage Squad, I'm in Chicago.
And where do you? Oh, you shoot that thing in Chicago.
Chicagoland, all around there.
Okay,
yeah.
the first question I have: Storm, Heather Storm.
That's
Sounds
right.
like a weatherman,
That's
weather
right.
woman name.
Dallas Raines.
Is Storm a real name?
It is,
It
yeah.
is a real name.
Yeah, yeah.
So what are the Storms? What nationality are the Storms?
German.
They're Germans. Germans.
Well, I haven't done the ancestry thing, so I don't know. Yeah, careful.
You're making Zuckerman nervous.
You know what? I haven't ever done the ancestry thing, so I don't know. You know, you get told you're one thing as a kid growing up, but
look
you're
very-
really big mutt.
And where did you grow up?
Originally Philadelphia till I was 12, and then my family decided to pack up. My dad wanted to be a cowboy, so we moved to small town Montana, 8,000 people.
That's a pretty cool I like Montana.
Really
no
big
speed
jump.
limits, but no speed limits, right?
There wasn't before, but they actually reinstituted them.
What is the speed limit in Montana?
I don't
on the
know. I
havenwood?
haven't been there in a long
85?
time. That would be
can't be
nice.
real.
90, but they did release them. Honestly, you can see forever. I mean,
Right,
you can
right.
literally see forever. You don't need a speed limit because you can see 10 miles down
What
the road.
is there to see, though? There's no one there.
It's true. Well, what happens is you see a town sign, like you pass a town, you see one building. And I was like, that was the town of.
Oh my gosh! So
Whatever.
now, you're co-hosting a car show. How many
That's
hosts do you
right.
have on
I'm
the
a
show?
series on Garage Squad.
Right.
Co-host, and I'll spill this here.
Garage Squad is Velocity Channel. You guys just started your 4th season August 30th, right? Am I doing all
We
right?
premiere on August 30th,
Oh my
and we're coming
gosh.
out with 1-hour episodes. So
Wow.
myself and Bruno Massel, he's a drag racer, we are the main co-hosts along with Joe Zolper, who's also the lead builder on the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so tell everybody the premise of the show. in
So
case they haven't
Garage
seen it.
Squad is a show where people submit their classic cars. So they've had a garage car sitting around for who knows how long, very long time sometimes, and they submit it on GarageSquad.tv. We've gotten over 12,000 submissions each year for these cars, and that come from all over the world. Right now, we're just in Chicagoland, so we go through the submissions, find a car that we can actually fix up in a week or so, and we make a show out of that. We go to the owner's garage, we set up shop, we back up the van, unload our tools, set up shop in their garage, and get it done.
Wow! So you guys restore the car with the owner, or
That's right, yeah.
And what do you do? What's
I
your
help out
area
on
of
all
expertise?
aspects, yeah.
I know. I've seen you under cars and changing brake pads and things.
Yes,
but
I'm more of an expert on the interior, I would
You're
say.
the interior
yeah,
girl.
but as far as it goes, I do all aspects of the show. Whatever they want to get me on, I help Ronnie out working on the rear
Right.
end. I help the brakes, whatever. The
So
engine.
how long? So you come to my garage. I have an old thing that I want restored. Who's
You got
paying?
lucky,
Is
and you
the,
got-
is the show paying for it?
Yeah, you got lucky, you got chosen, and we're paying for it.
How much fakery is going going on here? Is
Yes,
there fakery, or
yes.
is it
You know
guys
what?
really doing this?
It's really us
'Cause
doing it. There
Velocity
is no one else.
Velocity's the real deal. They're the real. They've got the real car shows, in my opinion, except for Wayne Carini's mustache, which we know is fake.
I
We
don't
know the
I
mustache
think
is fake.
I think I tugged on that thing one
No,
year at
no,
SEMA, and
it's
it was
glued
real.
on. That's a Yosemite Sam network note. They said, give him a mustache just to disguise a little more of the face. But I know that's the only fake part of Velocity. So
It's
how
real
do-
deal. It's the real
so
deal.
are producers there? How far ahead of time to kind of analyze the car and figure out, like, because a
Here's
restoration...
how it works. Here's
No,
how it
wait,
works.
Wait. A
Okay.
restoration can take a couple years.
It can.
A real restoration. How are you guys putting this into 1 week?
One good point is
Without
we are not
fakery.
fully restoring. We are simply rescuing.
Oh,
so
that's
we are
good.
getting it
Refreshing.
up and going. Right. We are not. Sometimes we paint, but usually not. It just depending on what the build is and what
Got
the
it.
rest of it entails. Because we are on a very limited time, like you said. Restorations can take up to years. We
Right.
have less than a week to get the car done. So
Right.
we come in. Joe goes and analyzes the car ahead of time and sees what can be done to it and if it's really going to work for us. Right.
So this car probably isn't running, so it's getting
Oh,
the
yeah, they're
engine
never
going.
running.
Do you guys paint?
Sometimes. So I think
Sometimes.
we've painted twice this season. It takes a lot of extra days when
Right,
we paint,
right.
so it takes away from some of the mechanical work we need to get done. So it depends on how much other things need to get done and if the car really needs it. So we kind of have a plan for that. But some of the paint jobs we do this year
What
are really
have
fantastic.
been the biggest surprises in 4 seasons? What's the show that went wrong? Where you show up and there's like rats living in the car.
No, yeah, that's real. Yeah, that's definitely real. Where they show up, we had the guys. One of the first episodes I worked on, the guys locked me in the car with a rat in there. Yeah, they're like, Heather, check out the interior, and then they closed it and locked me in there. And I'm like, oh my
Oh, I
god,
like
there's
these
really
guys.
a rat in here.
There was?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
no.
It was
Eyes
dead.
were dead.
It was dead. It was dead.
Aye.
We named him Mr. Jingles. But a lot of the surprises come from the fact that there are so many different pieces that need to go on this car that you don't
Right.
always know. I mean, one of the cars we did this season, we just didn't have one little piece on the drive shaft linkage to work correctly.
Right, right.
And people kept coming in last minute to get, and it was all the same size, and none of that size
how
worked.
do you handle that when you're in the middle of
People
nowhere?
are
How do you
calling
get parts?
friends. People are calling whoever they can to get parts.
So
I mean,
you
we're
make-
scrounging for parts.
You make the guy or the woman whose car it is call around to try
No,
to
we're
find
also
stuff.
calling around too.
You are,
yeah,
right.
yeah,
and
yeah.
producers as well.
Usually the mechanics, myself, Bruno, Joe, we're doing anything we can to make sure we can find the parts.
Wow. And how did you guys now change the show from a half hour to an hour? What did you blow out to make it bigger?
Yeah, well, we had a lot of input from fans that they wanted to see more of the builds. And honestly, in a half an hour, which ends up like 22 minutes, I mean, it's like slam, bam, yep, cars together, runs great.
Right.
You know, we didn't really see what goes into it, or a lot of those moments where we're like, oh, crap. And they're just like, it looks so easy. And we're like, well, it wasn't really as easy as we make it look on TV. Because you don't get all of those moments. So in the hour, you get more of those moments. And you get more of the story as well. I mean, this year we really went in to find the stories that really were meaningful, meaning why is the car important to get fixed up? You know, because, I mean, there's a lot of different, everyone wants their car fixed up, but why do we choose them? It also goes into the story and what the family's been through and why they really can't get it. Like, they're really in need of our help. They're never going to get this car done without us, you know?
Right.
So you get to really understand more of the story and why we chose the vehicles as well. And you get the more ins and outs of things that went wrong and how we fixed them and the funny moments as well. So it's a lot more fun, I think.
Wow. Now, with showing these builds, what are the scenes you're showing specifically? Because I like that. I like that the fans, don't you, Zuckerman? They want to see how stuff is built and how stuff is made.
Of course.
It's interesting, isn't it?
They want to see what goes into it. But I like that. I like the backstory. I want to know how the car arrived there, what it means to the family,
but
too. I do like to see what they're doing to get it going.
People complain about build shows, but they are the only car shows that work.
Aren't complaints good? Don't you want to have complaints?
People will always find something to complain about.
You know, I think there's a hip car internet. You know, I won't name the sites, but they're too cool for school, and they seem to attack these types of shows. My show too. But the reality is everybody's watching them, that we like these shows. You know what I mean? Like, there's an internet car cool that doesn't do that stuff. And then there's the TV shows that kind of takes it apart, and there are people like me who like watching it and learning about how this is done.
I agree, and I find it engaging, and I think the fact that people do watch and complain is because they're engaged also.
It's true.
They're into it. They're rooting for one side or another. They're invested if they're complaining.
You know, Zuckerman
That's
almost
true.
ran someone off the road this morning.
This morning,
this
morning,
Sometimes I have temper.
Had you had your coffee yet?
Maybe too much.
Okay.
Neither of us had eaten. But I was behind him 5 cars. I didn't know it was him. And I was like, who is this asshole?
Oh.
And I'm blasting the horn. Go! Stop yelling at the guy. And it was Zuckerman.
That's hilarious.
Zuckerman.
You always have to remember that anything you do can be seen by somebody you know. But I stand by my decision to threaten to punch this guy in the nose. He gave me the finger for no reason, and I think it's so rude.
Don't you hate that?
So rude. I feel like I wish I could have gone out and snapped it off and thrown it into the street.
Did you ever get road rage?
Oh, I often get road rage.
What do you
I
do?
100% get road rage.
You don't flip people
You're
off,
a
do
finger
you?
giver. She is.
Well, here's the deal.
You don't want to do that
It
here.
depends. What it's a give and take for me. Sometimes I'm really pissed off, and sometimes I'm like, go ahead,
Just
you can
go.
go, yeah.
Wait, is it the give and take in the fight?
No, it's like sometimes
you,
I
no
feel
F
nice
you.
and I'll let people go in front of me, and sometimes I don't feel nice. I'm in a hurry. It's not nice. You're being rude. You know what? I guess to me, it's social responsibility when you're driving. You have a responsibility to be somewhat courteous and respect the rules of the road. When people don't, it pisses me off. I had a guy who was turning left onto the freeway, and there was a car in front of me, and we had to turn left across traffic to get in. And this other car comes from the right of us and gets in front of both of us and is blocking us from even turning. I just started honking. I laid on my horn the whole time until we went.
Yeah, what are you doing? Exactly.
What are you doing? I am not
Right.
laying off this horn. And
Right.
I don't care. And it didn't change anything. But the point was, I knew, okay?
And it relieved you. You were the sufferer.
Yes.
You were suffering in this situation.
That's right.
And you needed to do that to relieve
It
your
angsted
suffering.
me up, and I
See,
was
I
like,
believe
bam.
Yeah,
you
so-
are allowed to say whatever you want within your car with the windows up.
Absolutely.
To feel better.
You do. I do it all the time.
I don't flip people off.
Right,
I rarely
okay.
flip people
Now,
off.
what about
I
when
gotta
someone
be
else
honest,
is in your car,
rarely.
though?
But I wave.
No, you got to behave.
You got to wave because too many people have
I
guns
know.
here.
It is scary.
You're going to get shot. I'm surprised at how many young women flip me off. You just get,
What are
and
you
then
doing,
you pull
though?
up, you
It's the
pull
look
up,
on his face.
You pull up next to them, and you're like, you want to say, look, I'm not going to rip you out of that car and throw you into the forest, but somebody's going to. You haven't learned this lesson yet. Don't do that here.
But why are so many women flipping you off in the car?
I don't know.
Oh, well,
You know
What are
how
you
every
doing?
car. I drive a lot of different cars, and every one has a different outward personality.
Right.
And some of them, like the Range Rover Sport when it's on the highest suspension setting.
You're an asshole.
I'm an aggressive, no matter where I am on the road.
Right.
If I pull up next to someone, they're flipping me off. I've done something wrong.
And if you're in the VW Bug, you're everyone's best
if I'm
friend.
in the VW Beetle,
They're giving you peace signs.
police
They're
are
blowing
exactly
smoke
right.
at
They're
you.
laughing, thumbs up. I can do whatever I want in that car. Porsche's kind of right in the middle, right?
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
So the Range
Prius.
Rover, you're the biggest dick.
If I drive my wife's Prius, forget it. I'm a victim on the road. People
Well,
just
you can't
walk-
go in that car.
Well, you can get away. You can run stop signs right in front of the police. They do not care.
Really?
But you're also a victim. People are going to walk all over you in that car. Yeah.
Well, it's the hesitation in the Priuses because it doesn't go right away, and especially in left turns.
no,
if
there's
I have
a
Priuses
fasty mode in it.
well, no one's using it.
No, I do it. You put it on the little B. You put the thing on the B, and then you take it off eco mode.
Great, tell everybody that. So put your foot on
and
the
brakes
gas
work.
and
But
go.
It's
What
like
he's telling
it's
you
like
is
driving
he-
a refrigerator down the street is what it feels
And he
like.
feels emasculated in the car.
Yeah.
I think that's the subtext.
Yeah.
There are many days where I like taking myself out of the game in that car.
So you
I'm
feel
not
like you're
part
just
of it.
gone. You're not part of the. You're
I'm not
part of the
part
race.
of any-
Not a
Anything.
man anymore.
I'm
Call
not.
him up.
I have humility. I'm a 5. I'm not a 1. I'm not a
Right.
10. I'm just a guy, a man among men.
Not even a man.
No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Boy among men. You're neutered.
It's only once a year.
I agree with Paul
All right,
here.
Heather, I want to talk about you. What are you? Do you call yourself or consider yourself a car person? Did you come at this from a different angle? Where are you on the car scale? Where does it start for you? At what age?
Well, it starts for me with my father when I was young. I have a picture that I have to find where my dad had a motorcycle, and I'm like 2 years old, and I'm handing him a
what
wrench.
kind of motorcycle? Do
A
you
Harley.
remember?
He had a
Really?
Harley.
He's a Harley.
I
guy.
don't know what kind. I was 2, so
That's
I don't
cool.
remember.
All right.
And then when we moved to Montana, then he got an El Camino somewhere along the way. I helped him with that. Yeah.
yes.
I was mortified when he first pulled up with it. Like, what is this car? He's like,
Please
it's our new
don't take me
car.
to school in that,
No,
Dad.
he pulled up to pick me up at school.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and I didn't know, and it got rid of our other car. I can't remember what it was, and then pulled up, and I didn't even recognize, like, honk honk, and I'm like, oh no, that's not for
very
me.
much.
Were you embarrassed by that?
Oh, I was super embarrassed.
How old
yeah.
were you at that point?
I would say I was like 10. It was right before
You're
Montana.
too young to appreciate
Yeah,
the
I didn't
greatness of that
appreciate.
car,
I didn't
for
at that
sure,
time. I
yes.
was like, "What is this? I don't understand this car at all. It's a truck. Is it a car?" He's like, "It's our new car, and it's fantastic."
So this was his daily driver.
I think he did for a little while, but
I
he
love
had
this guy.
multiple cars. He was
What does
really
he do
into
for a
them.
living?
Well, he's passed away now, so he's not alive anymore. So, but
Well, he's doing nothing then.
he's not doing
But
anything
what did
anymore.
he do back in the day?
He was an anesthesiologist.
Oh, wow, a doctor.
Yeah.
A doctor at an El Camino.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
Dr. Storm,
You
the
know,
pill man.
He was a man, I would say. you know?
Dr. Storm's El Camino.
Dr. Storm's coming with a
What?
needle.
That's right. Yeah, you better be careful. Well, that does bring up a good point. States of stupor were his specialty, so
Really?
you never
I
know.
want you to
You better
count
be
back.
scared.
I want you to count back from 100. Wait a minute. Are you the guy in the El Camino
Yeah.
in the parking
Yep.
lot?
Aren't you the pull man?
99, and then
Yep.
it goes under.
Better be careful.
I love that. So, did he collect cars?
He didn't collect them. He just liked to work on cars. He liked cars. I remember at one point he had to retake his driving test, so apparently he liked to drive really fast.
Why did he have to retake it?
I think I probably wasn't told the correct story because I was young. So it was like,
He was
Dad has to
taking
go to the
his own
DMV and redo.
anesthesia like Michael Jackson.
Dad has to go
Give
redo
me-
the driving test
Get
this
me some
year.
of that milky syrup.
He had some
Dad,
sport.
Well, I'm driving without a speed limit.
Yeah, no speed limits. Hey,
Speed limit, and I'm
how do you get pulled over?
That's what the cargo bay was for the El Camino in the
to
back.
lie in there while he's driving.
We rode in the back of that El Camino as kids, my brother and I.
Yeah,
No
what a
seatbelts
great-
bouncing around. I love
Great
Yeah.
car.
When you could do that. I don't think you could do that
way.
anymore.
So he's got the El Camino and motorcycles. He's
Yeah.
imprinting this on you. Do you have
exactly.
brothers and sisters?
I
or
have
is it
one
just
brother,
you?
younger brother.
Oh, you're the oldest.
I'm
There
the
you go.
oldest, and
This
I
now
was.
would make
He wanted to
sense.
make me a tomboy. It was
Right.
like I needed to know how to drive a stick. I needed
Right.
how to use tools.
Yep.
It was all. It was like you need to know how to shoot guns. You need to know how to do all the
Nice.
things, and then you'll be set for life. Apparently, I don't know.
He was right. He was right. Look at you now.
Really, his thing was he didn't want me to have to rely on a man.
Right.
He wanted me to be a self-sufficient, independent woman. It may have gone a little too far. I don't know.
Well, what is that like for you in a man's world? Because the car world is predominantly a guy's world. Are you treated as an equal or not? Do men talk down to you about
well,
cars?
I mean, at times, yeah, but ultimately I found that there's a lot of respect for women who have an interest in cars.
Right,
You know?
yeah.
I feel like guys are at once enamored a little bit and intrigued, and then also like...
Maybe it's respect Zuckerman, or maybe we're just happy to have some women around.
yeah, or maybe that, right? Yeah. You're like, wait.
Because it's just us
That's a
in
sausage
bad cargo shorts
Right.
standing around talking about cars with our hands behind our back.
Yeah, it's nice to have a pretty face come
So-
on the scene
so-
once in a while.
Did you grow up desiring a car, or were there cars that you hung up on a poster on your wall growing up, or what was the first thing you really wanted?
I don't think that I grew up like thinking I need to have a certain car.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really thinking of it in those terms. It was kind of like my first car was like an 86 Bonneville.
Right.
My aunt donated
Yep.
it, and it was like, here you go. This is your car, you
Me
know?
too.
I beat
Exactly
the crap
that.
out of that car, I'll tell you
Right.
what. I mean, by the time my brother got it as a hand-me-down, there was a chain holding the hood on. I mean, I was driving out in Montana. You know, I
Wow.
like to push that car to its limits. So I was just kind of more testing things all the time,
And
you know?
hanging out with your friends.
and
and
hanging out
playing
with my friends. I
music and-
had the car, so, you
Right,
know.
that's all that my car was. My first car was the same thing.
I was the driver with all my friends in the passenger seats, you know, and we'd go out into the hills of Montana and just cause trouble.
I miss those cars, Zuckerman. I had a Torino 500 was the first one. My friend Ray Ponte had a Ford Gran Torino, green with a green interior, like an army
Oh.
green. I went from that into a white Mercury Montego, which I promptly crashed into a telephone pole. You know, those
Old,
big,
great,
old...
big barreling
yeah.
pieces
The
of
whole
shit.
telephone pole thing,
And
too.
we would go out. I mean, on the weekends, we would drive out into the woods. We would turn on, whatever radio station we could get. I remember once just sitting back, drinking beers, and listening to Led Zeppelin play live at Madison Square Garden
Right.
in a green Ford Gran Torino.
Nice.
Just for 3 hours, the four of us just grooving on it, right?
I bet.
Yeah, you
I
know what
bet.
I'm saying, right?
Yeah,
and
I
it's
know
just
what
one of
Absolutely.
the greatest nights ever, right?
It was magic. That teenage magic.
Teenage magic. All right, we'll be back with Heather Storm in 1 minute after this.
By now, everyone knows the Dollar Shave Club ships amazing razors for a few bucks. I've been a member for a while now, and I love my shave. What you might not know, and I truly didn't know this, is that Dollar Shave Club also has products for pretty much everything I need in the bathroom. That means like body wash, shampoo, hair gel, lip balm, the whole deal. As soon as I heard Dollar Shave Club had stuff other than razors, I was totally sold. At the store, there are too many options, and you can't tell the difference between any of them. Then if you have any questions, the clerk, you know who they're hiring down there, they don't know the difference either, so they can't really help you. They're not experts on the products. But DSC makes it easy and convenient for you to upgrade your shave and your bathroom. Now you don't have to step foot in a store to get high-quality shave and grooming products. We'll deliver them right to your door. Just like their razors, everything is super high quality and left me looking and feeling amazing. From premium ingredients to sophisticated scents, DSC is changing the game. Now, if you're like me and sick of the nonsense at the store, now's the time to try out Dollar Shave Club. For a limited time only, DSC is basically giving away their starter set to new members. For only $5, that's it, $5. This starter set features their executive razor and 3 trial-size versions of their most popular products that help you stay fresh and clean. In your first box, you will receive their shave butter. I've used it. I love it. Your face comes out feeling really soft. Their body wash and their one-wipe Charlie's butt wipes. I'm not going to tell you if I've used those, but had I used them, you can probably hear me smiling right now. Though I am very much into the wipe experience, thanks to Howard Stern, who talks about that all the time, where he had his kids, the baby wipes, and then the baby wipes did. He's right. You will also receive their executive razor, which includes their premium weighty handle and full cassette cartridges. After the first box, replacement cartridges are sent only for a few bucks a month. This offer is exclusively available at dollarshaveclub.com/spike for me. That's dollarshaveclub.com/spike. Dollar Shave Club's high-quality products will have you covered from face cheeks to, that's right, butt cheeks. There is no better time to try the club.
Here at Podcast One, we love hearing from you. We read every tweet and comment you send our way, so don't miss your chance to take our summer listener survey. Just go to podcastone.com and click on the survey banner, or go to podcastone.com/mysurvey. It only takes a few minutes, and it gives you the opportunity to make a direct impact on your favorite shows. Tell us how you really feel, so we can get to know you better. We value your thoughts and participation, so check out the survey at podcastone.com/mysurvey, or click on the survey banner on podcastone.com.
You're listening to Spike's Car Radio.
We're back here on the porch, the Malibu kitchen. You're in Malibu with Heather Storm from Velocity's. Velocity's Garage Squad. Garage Squad.
That's
It's kind
right.
of a superhero name. Velocity's Garage Squad. Starting season 4 a couple weeks ago.
We're about to start.
August 30th. Oh, that's right. Well, this will air after August 30th, so it'll be a couple weeks after. It's all right. Who do you, tonight's the big fight between Conor McGregor and Mayweather.
Yes, I heard
that.
that.
Who do you think? Who do you think's going to win?
That's a hard one.
The fight has already happened.
The last fight really was.
This is not a hard question.
Disappointing.
What was the last fight?
Let's see. So
I don't even know that.
Mayweather and who now?
Conor
Pacquiao,
McGregor.
right?
It's the crazy leprechaun guy who's an ultimate fighter fighting a professional boxer.
I'm going to go Ultimate Fighter.
Really? That's who we want to win.
Yeah.
But he's going to get creamed.
No, when we did the boxing, when it was Mayweather and who was that?
I don't know anything about
yeah,
boxing. Manny Pacquiao.
That fight was so disappointing. I was like, what is going on?
Well, that's the problem.
Well,
They're
that's
defensive fighters. We
that's
want
what-
wild men.
Right,
This
right.
one
We
is
need
going to be...
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I used to see a lot of UFC fights, so.
They're both car guys, by the way. They both have pretty cool car collections. It's a
Mayweather
little
has
out there.
a lot of cars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they have that Scottie Pippen style of,
Bling.
bling that goes along with the car. But
I don't know if I always like that bling bling, but.
here we are. We can't predict the future. Everybody's saying Mayweather is just going to clock this guy.
But isn't that just because he did on the last one?
No, because one guy's an ultimate fighter. He's used to kicking and prancing about.
And he's not going to be able to do that.
He
now.
can't do that. Apparently, if he does do it, he loses all this money. But
That would be hard on your instinct because his instinct's immediately going to be like, oh, knee. No, can't knee.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Right.
Right. And this other guy's been trained to fight a certain way. Well, everybody who's listening now knows that we were either completely right or completely wrong. Anyway, we were talking about Garage Squad.
All right.
Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Right.
And Pacific, if it's Central, you got to figure it out on your own.
It's
We're
1
just
hour
telling
earlier.
you Eastern and Pacific. You Central people, you go figure it out. Anyway, Zuckerman, you had questions. You wanted to ask her.
How does she get from? She gets from this little town.
I
in
can
Montana.
answer that. All right.
Wow.
Because every pretty girl from every small town across America comes to Los Angeles. They come here.
Is it a magnetic pole? Is
no,
it a force field?
Because this is where things happen to succeed.
You mean
Yeah.
why I came here?
This is where things
you
happen.
and I came here for the same reason.
Oh.
But it
okay.
wasn't because we were pretty girls.
The edge of the world over here.
We don't fit in our small towns. And there's a dog fight, ladies and gentlemen. A dog fight is breaking out.
It's 2 golden retrievers.
This is why we're on the porch.
And she's frozen. Keep walking.
Now remember, folks, if you bring your dogs to the porch at the Malibu kitchen, Bomber and Emmy,
Well, it's the problem.
They're
is
not
Bomber
fixed.
Is not fixed, so he's aggressive.
Is he
so
that golden retriever
keep
over
your
there?
dogs away. Otherwise, there's a fight worse than McGregor and Mayweather.
He's
So
really
anyway,
friendly to people, though.
Go ahead. I interrupted. Tell us why you came here. How did you get from Montana so
Well,
far
I
away?
went to school in Oregon first. I went to college in
She's
Oregon.
closer.
Okay.
So I migrated a little bit west that way, and then I went and did an internship in Puerto Rico. And lived on an island
So
for
you're
a
going
year.
much further
Yeah,
away.
I went the way.
So
other
doing what?
direction.
So what's the internship
I
in
was
Puerto
working
Rico?
for the Caribbean Alliance for Sustainable Tourism, designing green kits to keep the land beautiful in the Caribbean. So just kind of like,
and the world
wow.
was saved as a result.
and
of
the world
your
has
efforts.
been saved just very little bit.
And how was
Just in
how
that
much
region.
how much time did you spend there?
About a year. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
I spoke Spanish and, got a boyfriend there and did the whole life for like
Wow.
a year, and it was great. And then I was like, I need to get off this island. I need to go do something with my life.
What happened to the boyfriend?
I'm surfing and I'm on that, and it's great, but I
She
felt
has
like
no idea.
I needed to do something. Yeah.
He
Who
got
knows?
left behind.
Who knows? I had to
Poor
go do my
guy.
life. You know that happens.
Poor guy.
You have to move on.
Huh? Can you imagine her just dropping in the middle of nowhere in Puerto Rico, and then she's like, "I'm out. I'm gone.
Yeah,
See you later."
I had LA calling my name, and so I
So how
packed
does
up
this
and moved
how
out.
does this car thing happen then? You're still pretty far away from the car thing in L.A.
you guys know, in the entertainment industry, you're just putting it out there for all different things.
So you were
know?
coming out here to be on camera, and
Yeah.
you weren't quite sure of the direction it was headed, like most people.
Yeah,
That's the way
you
it
know,
goes.
I really wanted to do some hosting. I love traveling, and I knew what
Uh-huh.
my interests were, and I just came down here. You don't know what's going to happen down here. It's a big, huge city.
Right.
And so when the producers called about Garage Squad, they were looking for somebody who could get dirty and weren't afraid to be in a garage with a bunch of guys.
Right.
I said, yeah, that's me. That's
So
me.
wait-
My dad prepped me for this my whole life.
Wow, that's amazing. Do you audition for that?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
and what is that audition process?
I did a tape with some sides
Did
and
they
some
make-
knowledge about,
So they gave you some pages. They gave you some sides or pages with dialogue.
Yeah,
on
different
it.
types of dialogue
Just in case
and
you
different
don't
types
know.
of some improv scenarios where I had to improv with people that weren't there.
And did they
in the-
make
in
you?
the tape.
Did they make you put yourself on camera, or did you do it yourself?
Yeah,
Or did they do it?
I had a friend just film me.
You had a friend just
yeah,
film
just
you,
she taped
right.
me and we sent it in. And it was actually a funny thing is during the audition, I was just like, I don't even know if I want this project. You know, she's like, you look angry. You need to stop looking so angry. Angry works is what I found. When you don't care, you're just like, I don't even know. I don't even care.
No, but it's interesting.
Then they're
you
like,
know,
hey, we want this girl who doesn't care. That's perfect for the show.
but you learned how to smile.
Yeah, I did.
It's funny, Zuckerman. One of the first things you learn when you're on camera is to smile. Like most people, and I did the same thing. It's like you forget you have to smile, and people think you're not friendly. You have to force this smile out of you.
I would hate that.
But it looks natural. Yeah, you don't have to do it here. But it's a very common thing. The other thing that really makes me crazy these days is how many, the Top Gear USA back in the day was kind of interested in me going there and auditioning for the host. And they were like, put yourself on tape and tell us about your car thing. And I was like, I'm not going to do a goddamn thing for you.
I'm not
You know what I
doing
mean?
it, huh?
It's just like, I've been doing this way too long to set up a camera in my
Right.
house,
closet.
and then and then send something into you about cars.
You reach a
Just-
point where you feel like you shouldn't have to
Yeah,
send
I'm
in
not,
a piece of tape.
I'm not doing that.
Not doing it. Somebody have to put your
By the
foot
way,
down.
I had just come off 3 years of hosting Fox's late night show. If you want to know who I am, watch this show, and you will get the idea.
But you know they
anyways,
have
I was
no
happy not to be on that show. I like it, but I wanted nothing to do with it. I don't like the idea of having co-hosts.
You know
But-
sometimes, though, that they don't have imagination, so they need you to see you do their show, though. It doesn't
But
matter.
You did a great. They gave you sides, which is nice. That gives you a clue, at least what you have to talk about.
Right.
Which is these dopes didn't do. So they look at your tape and then they go, "You're in," just like that.
No, I think they had a couple people they were considering, and then I got a call about 5 days before I needed to be in Chicago, and they said,
Hilarious.
"Hey, can you go there?" And I said, "Yeah, sure."
That's fantastic. Were you excited?
I was super excited.
And then
yeah.
why Chicago? What is the deal with Chicago?
That's where the executive producers are out of, and the whole production team was set up initially. And there's,
Uh-huh.
that whole area is really into classic cars.
I
yeah.
know, but
So there's a lot of submissions
So many of
from
these
there.
networks want you to avoid any metropolitan area. They don't want a whiff of L.A., New York,
Mm.
Chicago. You hear all the time, but it proves the point that these shows work just fine when there's a good premise, good people hosting, and everybody loves cars everywhere. It doesn't matter,
Right.
It doesn't matter that it says Chicago, right?
Chicagoland, which I never
I'm
heard.
betting
of.
We're
you
not
like this is
in
your fault.
Chicago proper. That means
Oh,
we're
the
like
number-
in different areas
Yes.
and small towns
So
around Chicago.
Chicagoland is not a real place.
It
It's-
encompasses like all the
Oh,
outskirts of
the
Chicago
suburban
as
area.
well.
And
Yeah.
I was convinced because I'd never been anywhere other than L.A. or New York. I just thought there was, there's a Chicagoland.
Yeah, it's next to Chicago, all around it.
But it's got the word Chicago in it.
Yeah,
Like Hollywoodland.
because there's so many small little towns around there, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times we go like an hour outside, up to 2 hours outside of Chicago, and we're going to someone's house out there. I mean, we can't just
So-
if we made it such a
I
small
always think
area,
Al
we wouldn't
Capone.
have enough.
Al
That's
Cap-
right.
Al Capone,
yeah.
Chicagoland.
There's a lot of history there. It's
so
cool.
you get into this car realm. You and I are very similar because we kind of come from different areas of entertainment in the
Mm-hmm.
world, and then you're led into this car thing, and suddenly there's this whole new area that you
Yeah.
can, make money and make appearances, do things. What are the things now that people call you to do? Like, I would imagine right off the bat, we're going to spin this show off and give Heather her own show, right? Storm the cars. The car storm.
Der Stürmer.
The Stürmer.
Well, I actually do co-host a podcast, Man Seeks Adventure,
Oh, yeah?
with two guys, and we are Cars, Bars, Eats, and Adventure. So
Damn, okay.
that came about
That's
from
funny.
Garage Squad because I
And
went on and
do
was
you
on a podcast
have-
and they asked me to come on and have fun with them
Do you
on the
have
show.
that curious kind of fame, the car fame, where when you go to a car show or you're around one, suddenly everybody knows who you are, and they go, "You're the girl from the car show."
Only sometimes. I haven't. I'm still lower on the totem pole at this point.
No, you're
so.
season 4. This is the season that you break out. Watch, it's always season 4.
Hey,
where
it's
they
the
go-
1 hour too, so
they
you
go
get a little
bonkers.
more.
Yeah, and we all love Velocity.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
if
been
I
growing.
could move Car Matchmaker anywhere, it would be to Velocity. That would
Yeah.
be exactly where I'd want to be. I love that audience. I like the shows they're doing. I just love everything that they're doing.
It's good people.
They're part of the Discovery Channel. Did you know that?
Yeah,
Zuckerman?
yeah.
One of my favorite channels.
Yeah, they don't have cop shows on there, though, and I know you like those.
I like that. I like Drugs Inc.
I'm finding
He
a
likes
theme
to-
here.
Saturday nights, he likes to sit on a couch, wrap himself in an Afghan, order Mr. Chow, and then watch people get arrested in Arkansas and Alabama. That's what he likes. Why do you like that so much?
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
going
that's a
to
good
let
question.
you know right now.
Okay.
Because it's cops versus robbers. They're both about as dumb as each other, except one group is intoxicated and the other's somewhat trained. And it's just so entertaining to see two groups of idiots chase each other around.
One's intoxicated on their own ego.
Why do you say
Well, both
that-
of them are.
Why do you say the cops are idiots? They
Have you
don't seem
listened
like
to-
Oh,
Have you
wait
listened
a
to
second
I
here.
think you're looking at it through a legal
C
standpoint.
students,
like,
right?
Okay, I shouldn't. But
C
sometimes,
students.
But
yes, they. And they were like the jocks, so they couldn't.
They're the C
Now
students.
you're
That's how I put it.
generalizing.
C
I
students.
have nothing but the utmost respect for the men in
Well,
blue
that's nice.
and the women in blue.
with you. I'm being
But
facetious.
you're seeing them through a different lens, right? You're through a legal lens. You're seeing the mistakes they're making when
Okay, I do have an anti-authoritarian streak. I'm always hoping for the criminal to get away with it.
Right. I think we all are.
So that's part of the game too. Is
Right.
Like, oh God, please just run a little faster.
It doesn't.
But then once they sign the release, they're fine too. They, you were saying something really funny about traffic stops the other day. It wasn't really funny. It was interesting that once the cop. What is the point? You said when the traffic stop is over, you don't have to listen to the cop
Right.
or the
so
police
while
officer anymore.
During the time of the stops, here I'm playing cop, and once I was very wrongfully pulled over. I was going 25 in my GT3, a 911, and the cop pulled me over, and I said, what in God's name am I getting pulled over for? And he said, for a display of speed. I said, this car is a display of speed standing still. Did I break any laws? Did I go past the speed limit? Did I run a stop sign? He said, no. I said, this
What?
is bullshit. This is bullshit. And I said, I want to see your supervisor. He said, okay, I'll call my supervisor. And I said, but give me my ticket. I want to sign my ticket. And we kind of had a tug of war over the ticket.
Why?
Well, because he wanted me to be under his control still. So until I signed the ticket, the stop was still ongoing, and he could tell me what to do.
Oh.
And then once I took the ticket, I could thumb my nose at him and
That's
go,
true.
and-
Once you
Oh.
take the
Yeah.
ticket and sign it,
then that stop was complete, and then I didn't have to listen to him anymore.
Really?
While we were waiting for his supervisor to come, and then so I went to walk away. He said, "Wait a second, you need to stand here. You can't stand there." I said, "Tell you what, why don't you stand over there? You go. I'm going to tell you what to do now." And
why? Because the stop is
Yeah,
over.
it was
but-
no longer police business.
But
The
couldn't
stop-
he re-stop you? Like he's like, well, I'm re-ticketing you then.
You're
for
gonna
now,
get
for like,
shot.
Me, and then I
So
was,
did you leave before his supervisor
No,
showed
I
up?
did what I wanted, and then I can. He was steaming because he had to stay there. He had to wait for his supervisor, and I was dancing around a tree and saying stuff.
Oh,
to him.
Zuckerman.
And then we ended up making friends later. We ran into
Really?
each other, yeah. But I do have a problem with authority, which
Yeah.
is. Yeah, that's
No,
why
but we
is
had
it just rules in general, or is it the people?
it's rule.
no,
it's,
he
it's,
is. He does with authority.
Because I don't like rules.
But it's
really
what's
either,
charming
so.
and funny about him are these stories. We all wish we were him, and we wish we did those things.
Well, we wish we actually had the knowledge to be able to do those
Yes,
things.
only a lawyer
Yes.
knows those lines to play. Because I could play a couple of the notes just by listening to them, but then I'm going to.
I'd be in the back of the cop car.
Yeah,
so.
I'm going to go to jail. We had a couple run-ins up in Monterey a few weeks back in the Volkswagen Police Beetle.
You're
I
not
brought
gonna
up my
make me tell that story.
1970s Volkswagen Police
Really?
Beetle. It's an old Würzburg, Germany police car.
Oh, that
It's
sounds
a
so
Beetle.
cool.
It's the
It's so
greatest.
fun.
And it's got a siren on it.
Oh.
And it's got a
light.
PA that we can yell at traffic, like, keep moving. There are no parking spots. What are you doing?
That's
we
great.
were laughing the whole week up in Monterey. But there was this weird point where we were coming down, 17-mile road, and we're getting close to the Gooding tent. and there was a beautiful old Alfa Romeo stopped in the middle of the street.
Oh, I love those.
And there was a
broken down.
an officer behind it. But this was 3 or 4 days before the concourse, so there wasn't really any traffic there. But we come over the hill in the police car, and there's an officer there, so we stop. I go, "Hey, officer, do you need any help?" Right? A little joke like
Professional courtesy.
Oh, God,
And
that's great.
Zuckerman, go ahead.
Okay,
tell them what the
cop
officer said to me.
Okay, we have all of 36 horsepower in this car.
Yeah, right.
Basically, even with
We could barely get up the hill to come down
even-
the hill.
Even with your foot on the gas, you're coasting. And we come to a stop, and he cracks wise and says, "Do you need any help here?" And the cop is so overwrought, and he says, "You need to slow down and relax." And we're stopped. We're stopped. And he was so. He was being such a dick.
Was he just like thrown off by the whole Volkswagen cop car?
You know,
thing?
it was. We noticed it around the whole peninsula that the police officers and the security guards were stressed out.
Like
because of the car
conquer was
thing.
happening.
A state of emergency.
It's a state of emergency, and the cars weren't even there yet.
And there was no
They're
emergency.
yelling at us, and every time we stop, we're like, "Hey, we need to go to the back lot at Gooding. Keep going, keep." Like we were on fire. Keep moving. And I'm looking behind me, and there are no cars behind me. I go, "What are you talking about?"
And then he starts to leave, and I couldn't help my natural.
Oh, no.
Natural
Yeah,
instinct
listen
was
to
just
this.
to say, "Fuck you."
Oh.
And
No, and then I look, and the guy goes, "What?" So I floor it, and I go,
So now you took off, and you floored it, and you were going 2 miles an hour out of there.
He's chasing me, just jogging next to us. What did you say to me? But Zuckerman.
you know, it just came.
See, have you
naturally.
ever-
It just came naturally.
You know when I started to really have respect for the police is when I got punched in the face by a police officer in college in Boston. That's when I learned not to mouth off to police officers.
Okay, and I'm going to tell you, there was absolutely no reason for that cop to have his knickers in such.
He
a
was
knot.
nervous.
Doesn't that piss you off, though, when they do that?
Right, and he has no reason to be screaming.
I feel the same
yelling,
way.
No, he needs to slow down and relax.
He needs to chill out,
Right,
and he needs to be told to.
Maybe he loved Alfa Romeos. He was really trying to protect
but, you
the
know,
car.
I think he calmed down. I think he needs to have a little towel snapped on him and be brought back to reality and relax.
I have to
buddy.
say, I agree with you a little
Thank
bit,
you.
Paul, though, because I feel like
Well, I
sometimes
didn't-
the ego gets
Yeah.
out of control, and they just feel like they have the authority to bully when there's no need to bully.
He did yell at us
Everything's
for
fine.
no reason. He
Right,
did yell at us
right.
for no
And
reason.
we do go to other countries and we see how, and I do respect the police, despite everything I'm saying. But
I know you
but
do.
I
I've seen you.
But I believe that really niceness and courtesy goes so far, and they are
Right.
and police are trained to use a command tone to take control of a situation, but in a situation where it's not required, you don't have.
Well, they're still using it anyway. Sometimes in
Yeah.
situations where
Yes.
and it escalates things.
It escalates.
Instead of calming it, de-escalating, which in my opinion should be their MO.
Right.
I think their MO becomes escalation, and it's like control, and then people fight against. As soon as I get bullied, I fight back.
Right.
If someone bullies me, I'm like, hey,
Not when
wait
I have a
second.
gun. I never fight back
No.
when the other person
Yeah,
has a
that's
gun.
smart.
I don't
That's
do that.
smart.
Fuck you. Say it just like that.
Never.
No.
I did that once, and I got punched right in the side of the head. I
The
remember.
old were you?
policeman punched you.
I was 19 years old
You
in
deserved
Boston.
it.
I
You
totally
deserved
deserved it.
You deserved
right.
it. I'm a 52-year-old man sitting in a toy car. I don't deserve to be yelled at for nothing.
You so deserve to be yelled at, Zuckerman. Everybody who sees Zuckerman should yell at him and train him, teach him how to be human. By the way, everywhere we went up in Monterey, people were like, "Hey, Spike's Car Radio, that must be Zuckerman. Where's Zuckerman? The money this, the money that.
He
Where am I
makes me
gonna
a
get a hat? The
caricature.
money. It says the money.
What's the money thing?
Zuckerman is all about the money.
That's
Oh.
his
Making the
caricature of
money.
me. He's made me a caricature.
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 And I'm supposed to be holding money bags. I've got gap teeth, and I'm a personal injury lawyer, and I'm walking around with money bags.
I see it. I kind of see that now.
Yes.
What did you say yesterday right after lunch? You're like, all right, I gotta go. I gotta go make the money.
I got to go make money.
You say this all the time. I like it. I think I think everybody who hears it thinks about their job and going to work to make the money. We all like to go make the money.
I mean, that's why we're working,
That's
right?
why we're working. That's right. It's not why you do a podcast, by the way. As
No,
you all
it's
know.
not.
You make no money. We're doing this for you folks for free. How do
Free.
you feel about firemen, by the way?
I
You're
love
a bunch of firemen around us
Everybody
right
loves
now.
the firemen.
We all love the
Everyone
firemen.
loves firemen.
And
Come on
all
now.
I want to be is that guy on the back of the fire truck steering from the back in that little greenhouse. So a big fantasy of mine.
I just I just want to ride on the truck, anywhere on the
It's
truck.
shiny. It's red. These
And
are
everyone moves for you.
Yes.
Everyone gets out of your way.
Who doesn't like the
All right, Heather, let's talk about cars. What are your favorite cars right now? What do you dream about?
Well, you know what?
Let's say money's no option.
Okay, well, money's no option. Then I'm going to get a 1950 Ferrari California Spider.
Wow.
But I actually, because I love that
Yeah,
car, I
that's
think it's
great
really
taste.
hot.
Sure.
Um,
See, I like 250 short wheelbases.
Yeah.
We're in the same zone.
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Ferrari 250.
And that's that look.
She
that
gets
little
it. She gets the
rounded
look.
Like
Oh,
I just,
unbelievable.
I would just look.
She's
Wouldn't I look good in
sleek.
that car?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Someone,
I
if
know.
you're listening and you want to buy me the 1950
I can see your little blonde hair floating back.
California Spider,
Big
feel
glasses.
free.
We would have heart attacks if we saw you in that car.
But I'm actually looking at a 65 Mustang right now.
Oh, yeah?
That I really have fallen in
Those
love
are my
with.
favorite
What color?
cars.
And it's a light blue color. And it's got the pony
perfect.
interior, blue and white.
Right.
It's so cool.
Ooh, I would
it's
buy
so
that right
cool.
now.
She knows
Yeah.
the pony interior. The pony interior is the best, and it's
Yeah.
got stamped into
Yep.
the vinyl.
It does.
It's got a
It's
little
got the
pony.
picture of the
Yes.
pony.
Is it a
Yes.
convertible?
It's
or is
not
it-
a convertible.
Doesn't
No,
need
no,
to
it doesn't
be.
need to be. You know what? I've had multiple convertibles, and I ended up not really putting the top down
You
as
don't
much
put
as
the
I
top
thought.
down in LA,
You think
nope.
you're going to, and maybe as guys, it's different for you because you don't have hair that's going to be messed up. But and you have no hair. No.
Zuckerman's bald. I'm on
But
my
as a
way.
woman, like I think I'm gonna put. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna put it down. But then
No,
I'm like,
you don't.
I don't put it down. So
No.
What a
Eh.
great
It's too much
car.
sun. I would use
Yeah.
my
I don't need a
convertible.
convertible.
Oh, I love that car.
Yeah.
It's
And
so
who's
cute.
got this car?
So it's in Chicago, and my plan
wanna buy
is
it.
that when the show wraps, I'm gonna drive it back to LA.
Oh, really?
And do a road trip. Yeah.
That's
Who's
really
gonna be your
cool.
road
Yeah,
dog?
yeah,
Who's your
yeah.
road dog? Who's going to be your co-pilot?
Are you volunteering?
Yeah.
You'll get shot halfway home.
Yeah, that'll
by
be
a state
great.
Trooper.
He can tell the cops to fuck off.
Copper, go fuck yourself. Bam, bam. You're dead.
I don't know if I'm going to say that that's okay. Well, actually, you are a lawyer, so that could be good. We go through certain states where certain things aren't allowed. I got a lawyer on my side.
Wait, so I want to hear more about this car. How did you find it? And how many miles
so
are on it?
one of the
And blah, blah, blah.
mechanics-
What? We're not talking to you.
One of
Go
the
away.
mechanics on the show.
A weirdo with puka beads and a hat like Zuckerman.
We do have
just came
onlookers
by.
talking to us.
I don't know. This is the downside. Take your cake and get lost. All right.
So it's in Chicago. One of the mechanics, it's his brother's car. So on the show. And I told him I was looking for a car, and he said, I got the perfect car for you.
Oh, of
And I
course he
said,
does.
Wow.
oh, well, yeah, right. Let me see it. And then I saw it, and I was like, oh, actually, that does look like the perfect car for
Love
me.
that blue.
And did
Yeah.
you check it out?
I went
mean,
and checked it out, drove
Miles?
beautifully.
How many
well,
miles,
you
do
know,
we
with
know?
a classic, it's really hard to tell what the
Right.
mileage really legitimately is.
What's showing on the Odo?
It's
Do we
showing
know?
36,000. So
Ooh.
I'm going to say it's probably 130. but it's in really good condition.
drive it?
I drove it. It drives
Wow.
wonderfully.
What a great find.
Yeah, so I'm excited. Yeah.
I'm such a huge fan of those cars.
Yeah.
want
I
one of those Zuckerman.
love the short seats that don't have a headrest, so you can
Mm-hmm.
get real whiplash if you get rear-ended. I love the pony interior. I love everything about that car. The deep set tack and the speedometer.
Yes,
everything
yes,
about it. And
yeah.
it's like a sky blue with a little
It's a
metal
sky blue.
flake.
Yep, with the metal flake. Exactly,
Oh, it's so
exactly.
pretty.
It just
So
it
pretty.
drives nice. It looks
It's
cool.
1965 on the beach in California.
Yeah.
Perfect for right
And
here.
it's good for me. I don't want a car that's going to be too complicated too. If things
Right,
go
right.
wrong with it,
No.
I feel more comfortable with this car than I would
It's
with something that
indestructible.
was
It's gonna be a little
European
You're
or
gonna
something.
be a little hot in it.
I'm putting AC in it.
You are.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I've noticed that all of these vintage cars, I don't know if you're like this, Zuckerman, but all of my old stuff kind of gets sidelined in the summer.
Yeah.
And I drive like anything that's got AC, like the GT3. And then in the winter, I get in the old stuff because
Yeah.
the temperatures
That
are
makes
right.
sense.
You have to be comfortable if you get to be middle-aged as we are now. Spike.
No, I've
Wait a
always
second,
hated
huh?
this.
Yeah, and
I've
I'm
always
not counting you.
hated this. I've always hated this. Even when I first moved here, I bought a Cougar XR7 convertible that had no fabric in the top. It just had the metal ribs.
Oh, really?
I loved that car, white with black. But I also had an old Jeep Cherokee that had AC, and I would, depending on how hot it is, because you can get jammed here. You're in a traffic jam for an hour and a half in an old
You
Mustang.
are hot.
It makes you hate the car, and I don't want to feel that way about the car.
I don't want to feel that way. That's why I was like, I can't take this car
How much
unless
does this
I put
car
AC
cost?
in.
Are you putting her on the spot?
No,
I know.
She doesn't buy this car. I'm going to buy it.
No, it's already.
You know why?
It's already bought.
You already bought it?
I already put a deposit on the car.
Yeah,
you can't get
doesn't
it.
mean anything.
Yeah,
Good for you.
It's not. It's already happening.
She's impulsive. She got it and she drove it home. That's an
Well,
You know what?
Okay,
when you
that's
feel
it.
like you want to do something, I say you just do it.
Why not? You
You
only
know what?
live once.
Life is one time, as far as I
driving-
know.
Yes.
Driving home with a season of a TV show under your belt in your new car is a pretty
Feels
heady,
pretty good.
wonderful experience.
Yeah,
I've
it
done
feels-
that.
What
I've
a
done
thing
it.
to plan,
It's
places to
it's the
stop.
greatest.
Seriously, I'm
Goofy,
excited.
Weird roadside attractions to
Exactly.
see.
You've
Over
made.
66.
You got your money
We're
in
gonna
the
do some.
trunk.
I'm gonna definitely do some Route 66. Yep, got some plans on
Wow.
that. Yeah, really
And you're going
cool
to do this
stuff.
by yourself?
No, not by myself.
You have to have a co-pilot.
Who's
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
with you?
My boyfriend.
Your boyfriend.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
there
does he
goes
know-
the fantasy.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, folks.
Is he going to drive or are you going to drive?
Oh, I'm gonna be driving.
You're going to drive. Is he okay with that?
Well, you know, I might get tired, I guess, at some point.
Oh, it's another dogfight, ladies and gentlemen. He's apologizing. I
Wow.
don't know if he's apologizing to the dog owner.
But
so-
the dogs seem like they're here to guard
Oh,
and
so
fight
that
with
was a
other
little
dogs.
list of some, either the 5 or 10 essential
right.
road
I
trip
do.
rules with a boyfriend. We can help you with this.
So what are these rules?
Well,
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Well, of course, because when the driver is driving, they're driving the right way. Okay,
Right.
there's no backseat driving. There's no being critical when you're not the driver. You can only have good spirits, no rotten attitude.
Driver chooses the music.
Yes, driver chooses the music.
That's all that's important to me.
Rotten attitude.
Do you know
Yeah,
rotten
you don't
attitude?
want to be in the car with somebody who's pouting in a bad
Oh, no.
mood.
I
You
wouldn't
seem to
take
be
anyone who's
speaking
going to
from
pout.
experience here.
I've done plenty of.
Are you the
cross-country
pouter, or were
road-
you with other people
No,
pouting?
you got to be fun. You got to be fun on the road.
Of
This
course.
is
Well,
fun.
yeah.
She sounds like she's going to
Well,
be
yeah,
great.
I'm
I
excited.
don't know about him. Is the question.
Well, if
What-
not, then he's going to be left on the side of the
That's
road,
right.
huh?
Wow.
That's right. So you better
Anybody's
give
not
him-
having fun, they're out of the car.
Right, so he's got to be
He's
good
gotta be a fun
co-pilot.
guy.
He's got to pack the snacks and the cooler.
Is he a good driver?
Listen, anyone
Is this guy a good driver?
who's going to just put up with my whims like that,
this guy-
they're fun.
Tell me, Heather, honestly. Be truthful now. Is he a good driver?
What
Are you
what,
are you a
what
better
means
driver?
good driver in your opinion?
Are you a
'Cause
better
my
driver
term
than
of
him?
good driver is assertive driving, and some people don't like my style of driving because I'm assertive. I get out there, I get in front of people, I have my foot on the pedal.
So you're better, clearly.
In my opinion, better is faster. So yes.
More capable. Like,
But some people- yeah.
Some people I drive with are very nervous on the road, and especially when I'm driving, there's a lot of people. All right, I'm talking about my wife.
Well,
Every
she's putting the brake on.
She's
in the
hitting the
passenger
brake.
seat.
She's going.
Oh, I hate that.
There've
I hate
been-
when people do that.
I've had
Open
10
the
years
door
of-
up and bounce her out.
Now, this
Freaks
is-
me out because they
Yeah.
scare me.
Yes.
They're going to cause an
Yes.
accident when they do that.
Exactly.
I agree.
I turn and I go, what? And now my eyes are off the road. Now, I have not
That's
hit.
Exactly.
That's one of the rules. The passenger can't be pressing the brakes.
No.
I've not been in an
Or
accident
grab the steering wheel.
since I
Oh.
was a teenager. No, any of these things. This guy is going to behave himself.
He's got to like you driving.
Everyone has to behave themselves if they get in the car. I've had plenty of people who get upset when they get in the car with me. If you get in the car, you've already the disclaimer is already. You got in with me, shut up, and deal with it.
There you go. Well, Heather, it's so nice of you to come out here and hang
So
out with
fun
us in
being here.
Malibu. I'm very excited about season 4 of your show. I'm going to watch season 1, though. I want to start right from the very beginning and watch all the shows. And
I'm not
watch
in
you-
season 1, so just skip to season 2.
Okay. I want to watch you grow
There
up.
was no season 1.
I want to watch you grow up on camera.
All right,
From
well,
a
you can
spry
see
little
that.
7-year-old up to where you are now. The show, again, is called Garage Squad. It's Wednesdays at 10 p.m. on the Velocity Channel, 10 p.m. Eastern Time and Pacific Time. You Central people, well, I'm sorry.
Oh,
You have to figure it out on your own.
On your own.
you can figure it out because you guys can go and follow me on Twitter at HeatherStormLA.
Yeah. Oh, she's plugging herself,
Yep,
Zuckerman.
I am.
Go ahead. She's going to plug. You plug. Go ahead. You plug.
The real Zuckerman. Follow me on Instagram.
Zuckerman and I love to harass each other on Instagram, so you'll see us bickering constantly.
All
there.
right, well, I'll harass you guys as well.
And I'm at Spike Ferris, and you know where I am. We'll see you next time on Spike's Car Radio. In order to feel comfortable that you're getting a fair price, you need pricing context, information that empowers you to feel confident. With TrueCar, you'll see what other people in your local market paid for the car you want. From there, you can connect with a local TrueCar certified dealer and enjoy a more confident car buying experience. Using TrueCar, you can easily find the car you want. TrueCar will show you what other people in your area paid for the car you want. Now you know what a fair price is, so you can feel confident. Once you register, you'll see real pricing on actual inventory. This is competitive pricing offered to you only by a TrueCar certified dealer for an actual vehicle on their lot. It's pricing you'll see before going to a dealership, so you can feel confident when you show up. With TrueCar, you can connect with a local certified dealer of your choosing, so you can enjoy a quick, easy buying experience. TrueCar customers are more likely to enjoy a faster buying process when they connect with TrueCar certified dealers. TrueCar users save an average of $3,000 off MSRP. Wow, that is a lot of dough. And when you're ready to buy, visit TrueCar to enjoy a more confident car buying experience. Some features are not available in all states, and I'm not going to tell you which features or which states.
Thanks for listening to Spike's Car Radio. Download new episodes every Wednesday on the Podcast One app or subscribe now at Apple Podcasts or PodcastOne.com.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
Ever tried reading while jogging, cooking, or even juggling flaming torches? Yeah, it doesn't end well. But with audiobooks.com, you can conquer books without the circus act. Dive into over 450,000 titles, including more than 10,000 free ones. Get hooked on a bestseller, find your next obsession, or finally read that classic you've been avoiding since high school. And here's the inside scoop. Sign up today for a free 30-day trial and snag your first 3 audiobooks on the house. Sign up for your free trial at audiobooks.com/podcastfree today. That's audiobooks.com/podcastfree.